we're just gonna kind of review relation, function, stuff. It's pretty basic for you, so you remember relation is just, a set of ordered pairs. So obviously I can do 0, 2, bless you. 2, -3, 4 and 4, and 8, let's say -6. Alright, so it's just a list of ordered pairs. For a relation, it doesn't really matter what the relationship is. So these can be changed and given to you as a table. You could be given a mapping, as you've seen. You could be given a graph, or you could be given an equation, the different representations. Obviously the table, I'm not using these same numbers. I'm just gonna do so 5, -3, 6, 2, 7, 0, 8, and 4. So it's just a table of values. It doesn't necessarily have to represent anything specific at this moment. So if I took those same numbers, 5, 6, 7, 8, and I put them in, then I took -3, 0, 2, and 4, because these are usually written in order. Then 5 pairs with 3, 6 pairs with 2, 7 pairs with 0, 8 pairs with 4. So it's the same data, just in a different way. If I put these on a graph, obviously it doesn't work. I can just put some, I'm not even using the same points, I'm just gonna put them on there. Like, these are just a way that they could give you points, and I could get an equation, like any equation, whatever, any type of equation. The domain is obviously your x values, your range is your y values. Again, things that you're familiar with. If we look at this data right here, this would be discrete. You'll remember discrete, continuous. So this data would be discrete because it's just individual stuff. It doesn't tell me that it represents anything. It doesn't appear to represent anything. So if I write my domain here, I have -5, -1, 3, and 7, because we typically write them in order. The range then looks like -1, 0, and 4. Because -1 shows up twice. Let's see, this one, my domain. Would this represent a function right here? Yeah, it's okay, alright. So here, my domain looks like -3, -1, +1 and 2. My range looks like -4, -3, 0, 2, and 5. So this is a function. This one looks okay. What about this one here? Yeah, not a function. No, not a function there. Okay, here, domain, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, and range, 0, 1, and 4. Function, yes, no? Yes, okay. Alright, so down here, we're writing our domain. These graphs are continuous here. Alright, and remember, sometimes you may see this just as a reminder, like on a test, they a lot of times may write your set notation in a way that looks something like this, like x such that x is greater than or equal to -3. Excuse me. Just as an example. Everybody okay there? Alright, so this one right here, typically we would write our domain as all reals. If they wanted it in interval notation, we would write it negative to positive infinity, just depends on how it's asked. I'm okay with either one. Your range here would be y is Yes? Okay. Alright, this one, domain looks like X greater than or equal to -3. So it looked like -3 to infinity in interval notation. Range would be greater than or equal to -4. Okay, there. Alright, this one is gonna be X, looks like not equal to 3. So then when I write that, interval notation, it's gonna have to be done as -infinity to 3, union with 3 to infinity. And then the range, similarly, y not equal to, looks like 0. So, -infinity to 0, union with 0 to infinity. Everybody comfortable on those? Okay. Alright, so back here, kind of moving on, same stuff. Domain, on this one, since there are arrows here, it appears to me that this is probably gonna cycle, well, I think there are. It looks to me like it's gonna continue to cycle, so just based on the rest of the graph, so I would say all reals, so negative to positive. Most of the time I'm gonna write the interval. The range then is gonna be from where to where? -5 to +5, so -5 less than or equal to y, less than or equal to 5, or an interval -5 to 5. Y'all okay with that one? Your sine and your cosines, that's how they're gonna be when we see those types of graphs. Alright, so this one right here, so you see that there's a hole in this graph right here, so that discontinuity, there's a hole, and when I have a hole, when I write my stuff, I'm gonna have a union, are y'all okay? And I'm just gonna write the interval notation on this. So that is gonna be from -infinity to, looks like -1, union with -1 to +infinity. If we wrote the inequality, we would have to also write the inequality as a union, like or x is less than -1, union with x is greater than -1. Does that make sense? Or you could just write x is not -1, you can also do that, so it depends on how it's asked of you. Alright, range here then would be -infinity to, -3, union with -3 to infinity, or positive infinity, sorry. Okay, there. Alright, this one right here, let's see. Looks like domain's going forever on the left side, but it ends right here. So it would be, obviously that means x is less than or equal to 0. So -infinity to 0. Alright, and range would be negative to positive. They're asking you for the interval, sometimes I can do both, but they want to do it for them. Okay there? Questions at all, or we're good? All good, okay. Alright, so here, it's like negative to positive. And range, negative, is that -5? -5 to infinity. Alright, here, can y'all see that there's an asymptote right here? Y'all see that? Looks like it's at -1 right there, so -infinity to -1, union with -1 to infinity. But your range is all reals. Y'all okay that why the range is all reals there? Even though there's a breaking domain. that would be, the discontinuity on that would also be an infinite, does that make sense? Alright, domain here, x goes from -4, not included, ends at +1, is included, okay on that one? And then your range, this goes back to like piecewise functions, the range, looks like, is that -7 down there? And the top value there is +2. So it doesn't matter that there's a hole here because this line covers that hole. Y'all remember that from piecewise? Okay. Everybody okay so far? Alright, so a function, obviously means that, each element of the domain or the x value is only paired with exactly one element of the range. So x can only have one y, you'll know that, this is not new. Alright, so function, yes or no? 13. Yes. 14, because of the 9. Alright, and 15. Yes, okay. Alright, then here they're saying we wanna use the vertical line test to determine. So this one, yes, no. Yes, this one, no, this one. Yes, it passes. Alright, okay there? All pretty easy stuff.